my grandmother was a landlord herself. She had a bunch of little things in Old Louisville. She lived at the corner of 4th and Hill in a house that she lived on one floor and rented out apartments and the rest of it. He'd helped her get into that business just by buying small properties. But then he built small things. I think for him, that was, he got comfortable with that. He never liked the idea. He also always owned wherever he had his office. His first office, he rented a desk from a lawyer in the old Kentucky Home Life building, which, ironically, later on, he and I would end up owning. And but then from the time I knew my father, he owned the little building that sits at just down the street from 209 South 5th, where we're talking, but right at Congress Alley, it's got the Green District Salad Restaurant. Mm-hmm. He had a walk-up office there when I was a boy. Then he bought a building up the street, put a 4th floor on it, put an elevator in it at 235 South 5th Street. Then he built, which is owned by Republic Bank now, he built the building at 7th and Market Street, and he kept his office. So, his thesis was, he didn't like paying rent. He'd rather own something and pay rent to himself for office. But outside of that, he was an apartment guy. In downtown, he would try to buy, he could get a little sliver in a block. He figured someone would always have to deal with him. Still true, right? If you could get a corner, even better. I will say I grew up, and we all will live this way. You young men will live this way too. You can't do every deal, but my father would always go, I could have bought that, should have bought that. I could have bought that for X or Y or Z back in, 19 whatever. But